Hey there, home learners. It's nice to see you again. We are back for another poetry lesson. This poem is Y25 for P.3 girls for the 73rd Hong Kong Speech Festival. Or if you want to just learn a new poem, that's good too. The title of the poem is called Furry Bear, and the author you might know, A. Milne from Winnie the Pooh, right? So come along, we'll read the poem together. We'll go nice and slow so we understand the words and how to say them and what the poem's really saying. Then we'll read it faster for fluency, and you can practice that until you get really good. And then it's time for publishing. You get to present your poem. So let's take a look together. First, we'll start with the title, Furry Bear by A. Milne. Now, I have a picture of a brown bear here, and a bear has fur. So furry is describing the bear. It's a good adjective, really hairy. All right, let's take a look at the first line. You can read along with me. If I were a bear, and a big bear too, I shouldn't much care if it froze or snoo. All right, we need to look at this word here. It's a contraction. Shouldn't. Hit that T sound at the end. Shouldn't. And here, froze. It has that Z sound. Froze. Or snoo. And that's a S with the new is the small word, snoo. Now, snoo is a play on words. It's for snow. But, authors like to make new words sometimes. Okay, we'll go on. I wouldn't much mind if it snowed or frizz. Now, frizz, again, is one of those words that you just kind of play with the language. So frizz, with that Z sound. It's like to freeze. And snowed is the past tense, so it has the ED, but don't make the ED sound, just the D only. Snowed. Good. All right, and another contraction, wouldn't. Don't drop the T. Let's move on. I'd be all fur-lined with a coat like his. Okay, so what does this mean here? So first we have a bear that can be out in the cold because it has a lot of fur. So the snoo, or snow, and the frizz, or frozen, it doesn't mind. Now, I'd be all fur-lined. Well, if you have a jacket, a coat, that has fur fuzzy on the inside to keep you warm, that's what we call fur-lined. It's on the inside of our coats. Now, the bear has a coat too, but not really. He just has all his fur. All right, now we can go on to the next part. For I'd have fur boots and a brown fur wrap. So boots and a wrap, something that goes around your shoulders and neck. And brown fur knickers and a big fur cap. So knickers is another word for undies. Now bears don't wear underwear, but they have fur. And a cap, of course, on their head. Let's move on. I'd have a fur muffle ruff to cover my jaws. So muffle ruff is another new word. The poem has a lot of these. Muffle ruff is like something that would cover your mouth, around your chin, keep your face warm. A bear has fur on its face, so muffle ruff. And brown fur mittens on my big brown paws. So mittens are for hands, of course, but bears only have paws, not hands. All right, last two lines. With a big brown furry down up on my head. So that's like something you would do for a hood that's lined in fur. It covers your face almost and your eyes. I'd sleep all winter in a big fur bed. All right, and the bear will be sleeping during the winter time. So it's kind of like if you wanted to be a bear, you would have to have all these furry things on, and how nice and warm that would be. All right, we're going to go through it again now, and we'll read it a little bit faster for fluency. Remember the little points I made along the way, and you can practice this until you get really good. Let's begin. Always start with the title here. Furry Bear by A. Milne. All right, ready? If I were a bear, and a big bear too, I shouldn't much care if it froze or snowed. I wouldn't much mind if it snowed or frizz. I'd be all fur-lined with a coat like his. For I'd have fur boots and a brown fur wrap and brown fur knickers and a big fur cap. I'd have a fur muffle ruff to cover my jaws and brown fur mittens on my big brown paws, with a big brown furry down up on my head. I'd sleep all winter in a big fur bed. All right, good. So you can practice this. Keep going back to this section, and I would say just do a couple lines at a time, and then add a couple more. You have a lot of time here, so go slow and keep adding. Pay attention to the way the words are pronounced. Now we have to do a little bit of a performance. So how are we going to show this poem? Well, I can only do it the way that I would do it, but you have to find your own way to do it. You need to find your own voice, and you can practice with different ways. I'll give you some tips, though. So first, you need to have strong words, and the title is a great way to start off strong. So make that title nice and firm. Then wait, pause after the author before you start your poem. Get ready. Let everybody get excited to hear your words. Then, as you go through the poem, slow down. You're telling a story, not just reading words. Tell the story. And also use your eyes to look at your audience. Use your face to help. This will be good tips for you to practice. I will perform it now, and you can see how I might do it. And then you can find your own way. All right, here we go. Furry Bear by A. Milne. If I were a bear, and a big bear too, I shouldn't much care if it froze or snowed. I wouldn't much mind if it snowed or frizzed. I'd be all fur-lined with a coat like his. For I'd have fur boots and a brown fur wrap and brown fur knickers and a big fur cap. I'd have fur muffle ruff to cover my jaws and brown fur mittens on my big brown paws. With a big brown furry down up on my head, I'd sleep all winter in a big fur bed. Okay, so that's just one example of how to do it. You can put in energy, you can speed up and slow down, you can squeeze words together, tell that story, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and come back and see me again, and we can do some more poems together. So I'll see you again. Till next time. Bye-bye.